Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Thoughts of a Rambling Mind. As you know, I only make videos when I find something intriguing, and of course, I'm intrigued. Errol Spence is at a crossroad in his career. We're all familiar with the Terrence Crawford negotiations debacle, where the two most respected fighters at 147 were to finally clash in the most anticipated fight in boxing. No matter whether you blame Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, or Al Heyman for the fight falling through, currently a few unforeseen facts are beginning to emerge. Number 1. Errol Spence is presented with 3 options for opponents. With his mantra, "I don't do tune-ups," Spence is left with the likes of his mandatory Boots Ennis, his ordered fight against Keith Thurman, and a prospective fight against the legendary Manny Pacquiao. Each of these fights presents an issue for Spence when it comes to the politics of boxing. As far as Boots, the most skilled of the 3 fighters, is concerned, the decision will be made to overlook him. Skill level aside, his resume and name is lacking the credibility to deserve this fight, and therefore is unsuitable as the next step towards greatness for Errol Spence. Ironically, the same can't be said for a Crawford versus Ennis match, which would then elevate Boots to an obligatory Spence legacy fight. Then there's Keith Thurman, who seems to be the best option out of the 3 foes. Thurman suffers from stamina issues, ring rust, from layoffs, and most importantly, he personally offended Errol Spence by putting speed bumps in his career when he avoided the Spence fight earlier in his career. In Thurman's defense, Errol Spence was to Thurman at the time what Boots is to Spence now, and Spence, rightfully so, is making the same career path judgments that Keith made, and I think if Errol continues to refuse to take this fight, it will be a huge sign of immaturity on his part. The problem with fighting the legend Manny Pacquiao is, quite frankly, he already sold his legacy to Yordenis Ugas. This legacy was to be originally sold to Spence, but due to a retina injury, he pulled out. Manny fought Ugas instead and lost decidedly. Following his dominant win, Ugas was destroyed by Errol Spence in one of the most impressive performances that year. To fight Pacquiao after this doesn't hold the same weight as it would have prior. Ironically, Pacquiao beat Thurman before he fought Ugas, knocking him down in the first round. However, Thurman still presents a more viable threat to Spence than Pac-Man does. Number 2. Errol Spence has a clear career path aimed at greatness, and when his run has ended, he will have a resume of big-name champions that only a few, like Manny Pacquiao and Shawn Porter, can contest. His fight selection and the demands of the fans demonstrates an expectation higher than any fighter in boxing today. Only Canelo has this kind of pressure on him to fight the best. The difference is, unlike Canelo, Spence has not disappointed yet, both in opponent choice and in fight outcome. Crawford, on the other hand, has demonstrated he is a career prize fighter. When looking at his resume, the pattern and career path doesn't jump out at you. The pattern is in a hidden statistic, and that's in the purse. Crawford routinely negotiates large upfront guarantees for his fights, each exorbitant demand superseded by the next extreme demand for his next fight at the cost of his promoter, and this has severely limited his ability to have legacy fights with big-name opponents who would also require high payouts. Number 3. Because of what we learned in the second point, the David Avanesian fight has severely damaged the prospects of a fair negotiation between Spence and Crawford. Crawford demands a 50-50 fight. However, this wasn't sensible before Avanesian, and it will make even less sense after Spence fights his next opponent. The gap in resumes ticket sales, and pay-per-view buys will continue to grow in Errol Spence's favor. The only way for this fight to happen, once this occurs, is for Spence to take a page from Devin Haney and concede to an unfair and undeserved contract term. On the plus side, as I stated before, Errol Spence's career path is boldly defined, so there is a high likelihood that can happen. If it all goes optimally, Errol Spence will have 2 blockbuster fights in 2023, and if victorious, he will be crowned King of the Ring and may rival Canelo for the new face of boxing.
I don't want to watch Bumba Clot no more. Put my trust in him, now we're gonna lose.
These are my thoughts of a rambling mind. Like, share, subscribe. I read and respond to all comments down in the comment section, so go on and drop one. And I'm out.